I'm moving on, I'm moving on.
How's it going? Hey, welcome back to the Great Green North. As you can see, maybe not behind me, but when I get to the backyard, things are greening up here. We're getting to a better, more sustainable part of the season, and hopefully we're going to be able to get some mowing done very, very soon. But today we're going to be talking about fertilizer, how to apply fertilizer. And this doesn't just go for fertilizer, this goes for any granular application such as pre-emergent or anything else like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Wade Murray. I'm an extreme hobbyist. I've also worked in the lawn care industry, so I know everything there is to know about lawn care, and I'm here to help educate Canadian homeowners to get the best lawn on the block, and my American friends too. So if you're new here, hit subscribe. We're trying to build the channel this year and get as big as we possibly can. So please hit subscribe, share it with your family, share it with your friends, stick around. Let's help build this community and get great lawns all across this nation. So as you can see here, lawn looking much greener. I put down fertilizer midweek this week, so everything is making its way into spring. I just took a soil temp, still sitting around 46, 47. We were up in the mid 50s for most of last week, but then things dropped again. It's quite cold out today, and it's been cold for the last couple weeks. We're supposed to get some snow coming up soon, but overall colors looking great. We're starting to get top growth in. Might be able to get a mow on this in a week and a bit, maybe 2 weeks, so hopefully that's coming in soon. Alright, so let's talk about different types of fertilizer. So there's two different types of fertilizers. There's granular and liquid. Granular is the stuff that you would put down with a spreader. They're little tiny prills is what they're called. You broadcast that across the lawn. They decompose into the soil, and the soil collects those granulars, and then the roots hopefully uptake that granulars into the plant to help give the nutrients to the plant. The liquid products that GrowForge makes, I'm going to be working with this year, they go on the leaf surface of the plant and get absorbed through the leaf surface as rain or any sort of other water. These liquid products get into the plant faster with less waste because they go straight into the plant instead of being absorbed into the soil where they're hopefully uptaken into the plant. So liquid products are definitely much better. However, on a larger scale, liquid products can be more daunting and more difficult to apply. As for, example, my backyard, I'm not going to be applying liquids on that this year because I just don't want to apply liquids on almost 20,000 square feet. That just seems ridiculous. So front and side are going to be following a liquid program this year. But let's talk about granular fertilizers, because I think that's what most of you are looking for, how to apply a granular fertilizer. So before we get into how to apply, let's talk about what granular fertilizers are and how to understand what you need to apply. Alright, so here I have two products side by side, and these are products I'm going to be using throughout the season this year, and products I recommend. So on the left is the corn gluten pre-emergent that I've got a lot of questions about, so that's why I'm addressing it in this video. And on the right is granular 3008 lawn fertilizer. So these are both slow release products. They have slow release nitrogen. This one is a natural product, so you're going to see your slow release coming around 3 to 4 months. This is a synthetic. You're going to see the slow release happening between 2 to 3 months. It has urea in it. That's why that happens. Let's talk about these numbers. As you notice, each of these bags have 3 numbers on them. So what do these numbers mean? Well, these are your major nutrients required basically to make any plant grow. So this is N, P, and K, or nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So this 30 means that 30% of this bag is nitrogen. This 0 means that 0% of this bag is phosphorus, and this 8 means that 8% of this bag is potassium. As you can see over here, you have an 801, 8% nitrogen, 0% phosphorus, and 1% potassium. The reason why you see a lot of 0% phosphorus in Canadian fertilizers is because there are phosphorus bans around this area on what they're allowed to put in certain fertilizers. So that's why you see that. But looking into this, what does this mean? Well, most of the time when you're talking about a major fertilizer application with a granular, you're looking to a half to a full pound in of N, which is nitrogen. This basically converts to green leafy upgrowth, growth that you're going to see that you're going to mow off. This number here, the phosphorus, converts to root growth growth that you're going to see below ground to make the plant more healthy. And this 8 number basically contributes to overall health of the plant and repairing of any damage or disease that might be affecting that plant. Basically makes its immune system, you could say, if it was a human. This would be your food, this would be your vitamins, and this would be any sort of medicine you would take for your immune system, comparing it to a human. That would be the easiest way to convert it to you. So basically, with any sort of granular fertilizer application, you're looking at getting somewhere between a half a pound and a full pound in of nitrogen. Now, let's talk about how we figure that out with this bag. So if this bag is 50 pounds of fertilizer and 30% of it is nitrogen, that means that 15 of those 50 pounds in this bag are 100% nitrogen. Slow release nitrogen, as it says, slow release nitrogen. Now, what it means is if you want to get a half pound to a full pound of nitrogen when you're doing an application of fertilizer, that means that out of the 15 pounds in this bag, you need to divide that evenly over your space. So let's take a look at what that means. So the first step in applying any sort of granular fertilizer is taking a measurement of your land so you know what you're standing on and what you're doing. So let's, first of all, you can pace out your land, and that's the easiest way to measurement. Every step is about 3 feet. So let's pace out this side yard. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to count my paces all the way to the other end. All right, so that was 35 paces from the car down there to where I ended up here. So now we need to take the width. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. All right, so that means that the width of my backyard is 6 paces. So now what you need to do is you need to times that by 3, because every step is about 3 feet. So I was 35 paces from the bottom to the top. That means we're sitting around 105 feet in length. I was 6 paces from the front to the back. That means we're sitting around 18 feet width. So if you go 106 times 18, that will give you your total area of the amount of square feet you have in that plot that you just measured. So 105 times 18 equals 1,890 square feet. So to round that up, because I got some areas that were maybe bigger or smaller than others, we're just going to say that that side yard is 2,000 square feet. So that is what we're looking at for that side yard. So now let's figure out how much fertilizer we need to put down on 2,000 square feet. So now that you know how big your yard is, it's very easy to determine how much fertilizer you need. So first of all, we need to get this number either to 50 or 100. So how many times do we want to time this number to get us close to that number? So with me, with this specific fertilizer, I like to put 1 pound of N in. So I times 30 3 times to get me 90, or almost a full pound of nitrogen in. So that means that I need to put this product down at 3 pounds per thousand, because that means every pound of this fertilizer has 30% of nitrogen and 8% of potassium. So we want to make sure that if we want this number to be 3 times greater, we need to put this whole bag down at 3 pounds per thousand. So if we're putting the bag down at 3 pounds per thousand and our side yard is 2,000 square feet, that means we need 6 pounds of product to put that down on that side yard. Now, if that makes sense, let me just go over that one more time. Hopefully it makes sense for everybody. So for this fertilizer, I want to put this down with a full pound of nitrogen in. Now the closest I can get 30 to a full pound is times 30 by 3, which gives me 90, which is almost a full pound of nitrogen. So that means that I need to times 1 pound of this bag, which will give me 3008, times 3, which will give me 90 and then 8 times 3. So that is going to give me my 3 pounds per thousand with a full pound of nitrogen in to the soil. And then again, as I said, my side yard is 2,000 square feet. If I'm looking to put this down at 3 pounds per thousand, that means I need 6 pounds for the 2,000 square feet that my side yard is. That's a pretty simple way to calculate how to apply fertilizer. It's the best way to calculate how to apply fertilizer, and it's the best way to make sure that you'll get the correct use out of your fertilizer in the end when you apply it on your lawn. So without further ado, now let me show you how to apply fertilizer. All right, so now I've put my product in my hopper. It's just soil for now. Don't ask why, but I've already put down my application, so I'm not putting down more. Now, these Scott spreaders, I would recommend for new people to get started because they're very easy, especially if you're putting down Scott's products. Now, I would recommend not to put down Scott's products, but if you are, all you have to do is follow the proprietary number on the bag, and then that will allow you to put it down at that rate. However, the numbers on the bag do not correspond with the numbers per 1,000 square feet, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, but it is what it is. So if you were wanting to put down a fertilizer at 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet, the setting to use is 5 1/4 on the Scott spreader. That, for the walking speed, will make sure that you're putting it down at 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So without further ado, now let's show you how to put this down. So first, let's start with the basic about how the spreader works. Now, it seems pretty self-explanatory, but a little refresher always helps people apply correctly. So basically, the way this works is the wheels spin as you push the spreader, which then has a little converter here that helps spin the impeller, which broadcasts the spreader, the seed or whatever you're putting down. So if you are not moving, the broadcaster is not moving. But if you have the drop gate open, which drops the material out of the hopper onto the impeller, then you will be losing fertilizer onto the soil, and that's what causes burn spots. So whenever, a simple thing, whenever you are not moving, do not have this trigger pulled to open the drop gate. Very simple, but very, very crucial to make sure that you're not going to burn anything on your lawn. All right, so the first thing to do is to go around the edges. So I'm just going to do that quickly, run around the edges, making sure that you're throwing all the way to the edge. Now, if your spreader does have an edge guard, what this is you can turn this on and it brings this block around, which stops all of the fertilizer or grass seed or whatever you're applying out of the edges of the gardens or your patios or everything like that. So I'm going to run around the edge with the edge guard on, and then we'll start doing the field. Alright, so now that we've completed our trim pass, we've gone all the way around the edges, it's time to start doing the field. So the first thing that I forgot to mention before is your walking speed. The speed that you walk controls how fast the impeller moves, how far you throw left to right. So you need to be walking at a double fast walk. Basically, between a walk and a jog is how you need to be walking. And that is going to make sure that you're getting the seed. I think the proper measurement's like 5 kilometers or 2.5 kilometers or something like that. That's your speed, but make sure that you're walking at a double fast walk. You should be sweating after you're done. You should be tired. It's not an easy thing to do. So without further ado, let's take the edge guard off, and I'm just going to demonstrate to you guys here when you're walking what you need to be looking for. All right, so let's just pretend that I pulled the trigger on the spreader. I'm walking forward. There's a couple of key indicators I need to be looking for. Number one, I need to be finding the wheel marks from my past pass. So the pass to the left that I made, there should be wheel marks from where I went through the grass. Now, obviously in the spring, the wheel marks are going to be harder to see, but finding those wheel marks is going to make your life a whole lot easier. Number two, you're going to be seeing the swath of product that you're broadcasting right in front of you, right here. You need to make sure that that swath is throwing back to the previous wheel marks on the left side from your previous pass. So if the wheel marks are here, your swath is throwing back to those wheel marks, and you're going to keep walking, looking for those wheel marks, making sure that you're throwing back to those wheel marks on the left, and that is going to keep your fertilizer basically even. You're throwing wheel to wheel, so each section between the wheels is getting covered twice, once when you come up and once when you come back down, and that's making sure that there's no missed areas, but you're throwing wheel to wheel all the way back, and you will make it all the way to the end of your pass. You will turn around and you will look for your previous wheel marks on the right, which will be somewhere over here, and you will see your swath of product, which you will understand is about here. And if you can't see your wheel marks, look through the grass, find the product in the grass and throw back to where you are. Then what I normally do, pick an object in the horizon, like that garbage can right there, pull move at your double-faced walk. Make sure checking to the left for your wheel marks, checking to the in front of you for that product to keep you moving straight. And you get to the end of your pass, you stop, let go of the impeller, turn around, and repeat again. Look for your wheel marks, look for an object in the horizon to keep your eyes fixed upon, to keep you going straight. Pull the trigger, start moving, and keep moving until you make it to the end of your pass, and then let go of that trigger. That has to be the best and most simple way to apply fertilizer. That's the way I've done for my entire life. That's the way we did it at the golf course. That's the way we did it at the lawn care company. That is the best, proper way to apply fertilizer. It's called wheel-to-wheel application. It works great. It's very easy for beginners, and as long as you keep your application pace going, you make sure that you follow the simple rule that the drop gate is not open if you are not moving. As soon as you stop moving, let go of the trigger. As soon as you start moving, pull on the trigger. If you use the edge guard, you shouldn't have any issues with burning. A lot of these fertilizers now are bred with, even the synthetic are bred with low amounts of nitrogen. They're all slow release, not the way that they used to be, so the chances of you actually burning your lawn is significantly less than it used to be before. My final word on applying fertilizers: don't be scared. I know there's a lot of fear involved with this, with burning. There's a lot of people that have kind of caused that fear involved with burning and everything to do with that. It's not something that happens very often. As I said before, the way these fertilizers are bred right now, they're all slow release. It's very hard to burn. The only way to burn is dumping piles and piles of fertilizer in a section. And as I said, as long as you follow that rule that you don't hold on to that lever when you're not moving, you'll be fine to get that fertilizer application down and get everything all good. So without further ado, let me show you some clips of me applying fertilizer here, just to get over that wheel-to-wheel section. All right, so as you can see here, I'm coming up on the edge of my trim pass, so I'm getting to the top, then I'm making that turn 180, looking back down. I know where the wheels are on my trim pass, and I'm working my way back down, throwing back to the previous wheel mark. Once again, you can see me turning around, picking something in the horizon to look at, and then going ahead again. As you can see, I've spaced myself evenly between that wheel mark. And again, once I get to the top here, I'm going to go up a little bit, turn back around, look at my wheel marks, look at something in the horizon. As you can see, throwing back evenly, up and down, up and down. The gaps between your passes should be the same. You're seeing those wheel marks. You're throwing the fertilizer back to those previous wheel marks. So without further ado, I hope that fertilizer guide helped you. I hope you guys know how to apply fertilizer now in your own lawn, and you can get out there and get it done, because there's nothing more gratifying than doing it yourself, figuring out yourself, and making sure that you're getting those results that you want in your lawn. Fertilizer will take you to the next level. Follow my fertilizer program. You can buy those products in the link in the description down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other questions about fertilizer applications, you can contact me through my information here, my email, and all that stuff. From the Great Green North, my name is Wade Murray. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope it helped you. And as always, guys,